It's me and you're gay. Really gay. We've had too much gay. It's time we bring it back to straight. And as I am the ultimate Chad alpha male, I think I'm the best person here to talk about Sleepy Boy Stream. Let's realize that's going to be the start of something that someone might end up watching for 6 hours. I'm in a good mood today. What if I have bipolarism? Yeah. Hi, fat me. I'm so fat. I literally looked at my own eyes as I said that. Right, so everything's working out there. I'm going to wait a little bit, just a little bit, and I'm not all that tired right now. So to get tired, I'm going to get drunk and talk to you motherfuckers when you pop up. Sorry I missed you there, Whiskers. When you're back, I hope to continue any sort of conversation that might come up. There's le chat box, and here is le test. Le test is like le breast, but it is not a breast of the situation. I want to keep a breast of the situation. Manatee breast. Right, so I can see the I can see down the corner there the most important thing in the fucking world, which is of course my donation bar. If you don't feel like donating, then please consider joining the Discord. And above all else, please like the stream. If you're not already, please consider subscribing. And if you don't like the stream, please consider unsubscribing. Right, I will show you the bed, but I mean, in all fairness, it's it's my bed. I've shown you it numerous times before. Boom. Aha! Camera! You fool. You think you can defy me? You cannot defy yourself. You are bound to me. An ancient contract. Born by blood. So much blood. Right. So. I shall scoot. Sorry for the slight delay. I was actually on Rabbit. I was enjoying some downtime, and I got into some tisming. Because you must tism when you are in the presence of the Tism Queen. It is like the sun and the moons. It's all bigger and fatter and lamer than you. Seriously. Actually, in all fairness, seriously, I mean, the moon might be able to control the tides and shit and keep our orbit steady, but does it have a memory of that time you managed to jack off even though you slept on your arm the night before? Of course it didn't. Because that's the moon. It has no arms. It has no body, no head. It's just a big ball. And unlike another mighty ball by the name of Paul, it doesn't have a large proportion made of sodium. This is the part I cannot stand. Waiting for people to show up. Of course. I have to keep this charged for as long as possible. Now, I will game a little bit if you all want me to game. I don't know what exactly I can game. I might show you the games I have available, and then you guys can pick from them. But as it stands, Sleepy Boy Stream is now just awaiting a suitable audience of one. Yes, that's right, fucking one. That's how small my audience is on average. Now, while I'm here, I should also just give anyone watching in the future the breakdown of what's planned to happen. Right, so the gist is, I will go to sleep, after chatting to some people, or if no one shows up in, say, check back in an hour. If I'm not in that bed, well, then I'm either chatting like crazy, but whatever, I don't fucking know. Anyway, when I'm in bed, these headphones will be on that headboard, right over my skull. Your job, I don't know why I said it like that, is to wake me up. Also, my TV, which is right here, is currently watching me. So I will be able to read the text as it pops up. There. As you can see, I kind of rushed getting the new bedding on. Kept on pushing it off just for this moment. Now that it's on, that won't last a night. The start is $1. Any dollar you give, or regional equivalent, will wake me up with a very loud noise. Would you all like to hear what the loud noise is? If you watched the previous one, you might know, but this one...
This is a test donation for $1.
Compared to how she is. And I mean dollar, by the way. Dollar, as in, you don't need to give any more than that. Otherwise, I know other people like this for another reason, which is just calmly watching somebody sleep. In which case, that's cool too. I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. Now, now, here's the caveat that a lot of people don't have to deal with. My computer is famous buggy. If this fucks up, if I do not get the 6 hours sleep that YouTube will allow me, because afterwards it just won't process. I mean, I might keep on sleeping and wake up and find that you're still there. But if I don't get the 6 hours sleep, if I wake up and I froze after an hour and 40, give or take, right? I will go and do this tomorrow night, and again and again and again, until this is done, because it's a crapshoot. So, that's the rules of it. I will do it over and over and over and over again, every single night. Alcohol, gaming, completely out of the blue, doesn't fucking matter. When I'm ready to go to sleep, I will turn the camera on, get into bed. When it reaches its goal, then we might do it down the line. But this will not be a common thing. I want to get this done because the last time I tried it, I got about an hour, 45 minutes in, then the computer froze. But as it stands right now, I'm not actually all that tired. So what I'll probably do is play a game. Don't want to play it into crazy. No 17-hour games of strategy and shit like that. Ideally, I'd like to play Tetris. Seriously, a game of Tetris. And this might not be so bad, but I don't have Tetris. I have, let's have a look at the games I can currently play. Just checking something out. Right. So.
Nation alert, video capture, viewer counter, game capture, donation ticket. Okay, so
Okay, as you can see here, we have Steam. Got Age of Empires. As you can see, I've got way more games, but I've uninstalled them for the sake of memory. World of Warships. Maybe I'll play World of Warships, actually. Let's see what else we have as a response. Stellaris. Yeah, I ain't got the time for that. Stronghold. And I'm planning to play that on the weekend. Rise of Nations. No. Medieval Total War 1. No. Hearts of Iron 4. No. No. Played that earlier. No, because I'm currently... There's some sort of glitch going on in that. No. God, no. 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 Oh, God. It will never let me go, will it? No, it will. For once, it fucking will. For once, we will not be playing. No fairness, I might have even started this a little bit too early. The idea would be that someone would show up, and sure enough, early they did. Starter pack. Oh, who am I kidding? End of the day, American Truck Simulator is a game people want me to play. I'm doing that, I'm getting new trucks. Nothing huge, nothing amazing. Amazing! Beta. Old black man, what is wrong with you? Perhaps at the end of the day, we're all forms of low energy. Every one of us bound to the wheel of reality. For it is us, and no one else, who knows the secret of the truth. And the truth is, I love you. I love you. There's a little bit of good time there for you. Ugh. I'm guaranteeing you next week, no matter what the fuck I end up buying, it will not be vodka. I am sick of this shit. I imagine if I was Russian, I was born to it. I'd know how to appreciate it, how to back away from it, how to approach it. As it fucking stands, I can't stand this shit. It tastes like ass. Alright. Well, I guess until it's time to go to sleep. It shouldn't be too long. I woke up before 12, so... A simple coloured map, huh? Driver's diesel passion. Cute. New Mexico livery. Don't need that. Caterpillar black. Peterbilt. There's so many skins, but like my truck, she is fine as it is. Yes. Wayland Yutani trucks. Right now, I'm definitely on playing it. But I need to get my hand on some Wayland Yutani tech. Skip. Tomorrow when this is uploaded, I will go. So tomorrow when I upload, I will go and ensure I will skip to when I actually go to bed for the people who watch in the future. So as long as it's not up for too long, it hasn't been up for just immediate afterwards, then by all means go and check it out. This is just downtime until then. You're hearing all noises in the back, but give me a few minutes and we can get this party started. Wouldn't say to start off bad, because the only way I could end this is by sleeping or the game crashing, and I couldn't do anything about that anyway. Like I said though, tomorrow, boom. I really should have done this when I was tired. I really should have done this when I was tired. So, drive. Oh, that's never a good sign. I mean, in all fair... Wait, why is my truck in the middle of... Oh, I must have been heading to one of my destinations. Shit. Okay, boom. Boom. Game capture. American truck. Done. That should be that. There we are. I guess I'll move everything back to normal mode until then. Alright. Quick job. Quick job for quick hookers. Nuts. You want these nuts? An Oxnard to Camp Verde. I was thinking, isn't that where the president is? But no, it's Camp David. I don't blame anyone who'd want to see me sleeping coming in late. So tomorrow I have to do a couple of things of editing. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, it's only one. That's fine. Ooh, wood panel. And big giant knobs. Everyone knows I like a knob. Oh, this is a nice truck. I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm sorry, what? There we are. Nine hour. Game just loading the world around it. What is that? A fucking puma? Jaguar, a house cat, fucking lion, which would be a puma. Puma pride, Puma pride. So it's only an hour, 9-hour trip in this game. That's next to nothing. Now you hear that shit? That sounds good. That sounds like it's compensating for my small masculine member. That sounds like it's making me feel... Yeah. The truck looks like shit, but feels so good. Out of my way, traffic. I have nuts to deliver. These nuts. This really shouldn't be called Sleepy Boy Stream. This should be called Wasted Wednesday Part 3. Oh, I am sorry. I am so sorry. I mean, I'll take it over getting sick and passing out on the toilet bowl, which you wouldn't get to see anyway. Not until I get a GoPro anyway. Strap it onto my head. Go to a titty bar. Hide it in my giant hat. Some strippers have taken my hat off my head, bitches. I only asked for it the one time. Shit. Fuck me. This truck sounds strong as all hell and looks really cool. Looks like something right out of the 60s and 70s. It's just, it can't grow up mountains and hills for shit. Behold the awesome power of 14 miles an hour. Hour. Oh. Reverend Sebastian Cleargood's Power Hour. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. here on God TV. Oh yes it is, oh yes it is. You know, I would gladly watch Ben TV more than I would ever watch the God channel. The God channel is just pure bullshit. Ben TV, it's all over the place, and sure, it's not high quality. It's never going to be high quality, but it's going to be good stuff, you know? It's going to be good stuff in its low quality. It's like whatever happened to Captain Jones, which is more of a meme than a movie at this point. Uganda's first interactive movie. What happened to Captain Jones is that the plot doesn't really tell. It's about just a bunch of people who get mixed up in some weird shenanigans. Kind of comes across like a Carry On film from the 60s. I Hate Everything has a really good video on it. Wow, no one's ever seen me drive a truck before. This really is groundbreaking material. Fuck you, Tyson's Food. I don't care how nice your steaks are on the front cover. We all know that's a fucking joke. Traditionally, this is my walking around alcohol bottle. But due to contrivances at the time, it's magically now become my spirit bottle on fucking hell. It needs as much battery as possible. It charges really well, these headphones, but my god. It does not like this wire in particular. It just keeps popping out. Is it in yet? Is it in yet? Oh, for fuck's sake, if you have to ask. Was that it? Can you go now? Remember, we have me nan's funeral at 5. There was a funeral at 5 o'clock in the evening. Have it in the morning. You can have the wake. Just taking a drink. I'm thinking we can get it over with. Me ma's in bits. You're gonna be in bits in a few seconds. There we go. Oh, there it is. And then they bang for 3 minutes. Both agree it was fine. Seriously, just go down there for fuck's sake. It's not complicated. Literally, for fuck's sake. She'll be more inclined to offer up her sexy sister who's currently going through a bad relationship. Because that's how that works. It isn't, but girls, you might get a free eating out of it. Next time I go to America, it'll either be for Ashley's wedding, Ashley and Steve getting married, which was planned for next year, but they're not even sure now if they can do it, which financially to me, I'm cool with. Otherwise, I'm kind of annoyed at them. I'm kind of like, oh, for God's sake, you've been together enough years now. You have to seriously put some money aside. I mean, you can get it done as cheaply as $150. If I had the money, I'd wire it to them. Wire it. I'll send it in a telegraph. A young strapping man shows up on their doorstep on a bicycle in a little tiny uniform. Telegram for you, madam. His little tiny hat like a bellboy. One thing I'm glad about for the last stream that I did, I'm glad the last Sleepy Boy stream I did, I'm glad I ended up getting, let me check something. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm glad I got to see myself asleep on stream. It might have only been for about an hour or so, but I didn't snore. And more importantly than anyone else, and this is something that everyone will tell you, they freak out about when they sleep on stream. Did I talk to myself? And what the fuck did I say? Because you can just strap together some crazy ass shit. And it could be something like, you know, the pelicans are in the house. How much tuna should I give them? I need it for my diet. You know, things like that. And I've had conversations, and I have been the butt of conversations with previous partners. I'll always remember one time I was with a girl, and she said while I was sleeping, I started to giggle like I was 5 years old. And she loved it, and she was just watching me giggle, and then suddenly she asked, "Why are you giggling, Dylan?" And I said, apparently, "Yeah, we're at the zoo. We're at the zoo. The monkeys make me laugh." Which, in all fairness, they do make me laugh, because monkeys are amazing. I absolutely adore monkeys. I adore monkeys, and I adore apes. And I suppose I adore lemurs too, but lemurs remind me more of raccoons. And I adore raccoons, but not in the same way. So, she said, why were we, like, what were the monkeys doing? And I said, they were counting cars like it's Las Vegas. Whoa! Happy robots. Kate. Hiya, Kate. I will, once I'm fucking tired. I started this fucking stream too goddamn early. Still. Hey there, Kate. And I was just killing time. Been talking to myself up to now. I miss Whiskers by that much. I still have tons of alcohol, and yet it's not making me tired, which is annoying. The one thing alcohol is famous for doing is making you groggy as fuck. Hey, watch your motherfucking mouth. Hey, hey, hey. I will watch my motherfucking ears. Okay? Because you may have not heard the hell that awaits me if I'm woken up tonight. It's going to be horrible and yet majestic at the exact same time. I'm also really proud of myself that I actually physically got it done. Well, I could patty it up by 20% or more, but I think the traditional accent is a little bit better. And by traditional, I mean whatever the fuck my accent actually is. But no, like, take a knee, relax, make both knees even. Seriously, I am fucking annoyed at myself that a man who I have a lack of B12 in my blood. That's why my eyes look the way they look. And that means I'm always tired. But that means I've built up a resistance to a certain level of tiredness. I can't nap, for example. I can only sleep. So, as a result, I'm kind of annoyed at myself that, hey, I've been up for nearly 14 hours. Now's the time to go to sleep. Sleepy Boy stream? Makes sense. Nope. Oh, sweet merciful marmalade. Why? Why must I cry? Anyway, hope you're doing well. I hate vodka, but it's actually going to get me sleep quicker. As long as I don't do what I did last time and almost get sick on stream. That was not a good idea. I was playing this, and if you haven't seen it, I was playing this, and every time I got a crash, I would end up having to do a shot of pure vodka, and I'd already come back from the pub. And I'll unpack that little depressive doozy in a moment. Doozy. I like that. Doozy. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I must have had 3/4 of a bottle within an hour. I was talking to someone a few days later, the day after actually, who was watching me, and she said that I apparently was goaded into keep on doing shots. Like, very, very childish of me. I'm usually more in control of what I do and do not put in my body. But, you know, you get so shit-faced, you kind of lose track of everything. Plus, I had a flight in the morning, and I thought, hey, faster I get to sleep. But anyway, let's unpack that nihilistic bullshit. Indeed, I could indeed get hit by a car. However, then the person who hit me, at the very least, would have to drag me upstairs, put me back into that bed there, which looks currently like shit, and then I'd hopefully not die during my stream. But the sad fact about that is, a huge track of the stream you would not get to see. Oh, bollocks. Fuck you, civil servants. You fucking robots. Think you're all something just because you're in a kiosk? You have a little name tag? I work for a living. Drive trucks. Not in real life. I wouldn't even be able to pass the psychological, let alone the physical. But still. Enter. You all feel good about yourselves? With your wood panel bullshit? This is why Trump's gonna come and cleanse y'all. Small government for everyone. Woo! But yeah, back to whatever the fuck I was rambling about earlier. If I got hit by a car, it would be interesting. You know what would be the best way of getting hit by a car? Would be if I didn't get to see it coming, but it's like the panto rules. Pantomime in the UK is a big thing around about Christmas. And there's a famous trope in it where they're on stage dressed up pretending to be like Snow White or Aladdin or, you know, Sleeping Beauty or whatever. And the person's just there like, oh, I hope the evil witch isn't behind me. And then the evil witch is literally behind them. And then someone goes like, they're behind you, they're behind you. And then they go like, oh no, they isn't. And then they shout back, oh yes, they is. I want that to happen on stream, where I'm very, very, very drunk, and it's a live stream. And I've been talking to people with my camera, my phone, like this. And I walk out in the middle of a road, and a huge fucking truck or a bus or a tank or something is coming towards me. And then I go like, there's a truck behind me? Oh no, there isn't. And then it comes out, oh yes it is. And I go, ha, I get that ref. And then I'm just run over. But it happens all on stream. I would become a YouTube sensation. At best, if I survived, I would be paralyzed and would have to do these videos via a sort of like Stephen Hawking's chair. Which would save on the technical issues, let me tell you. I would actually make a ton of money too. Maybe I should write a book that no one ever bothered to read, but everyone always quotes. Fascinating. There's always tons of trucks driving up that road. You know, that would be traumatizing to see, but like kind of cool to think about you would be all over. You'd be all over the horror countdowns. I know, right? Watch Mojo top 10. I'd be number 3 at least. There'd be still crazier ones. I mean, I'd be definitely one of the top. Oh, you know, like the top 10 on Mojo and other ones. The top 10 YouTubers, famous YouTubers who died. That comes to mind. People like Jew Wario and oh god, he was the first one to mind, but I know. Oh, the editor of Game Theory. He died not too long ago. He committed suicide. Top 15 Bird King foot lettuce dude. I would love. I just pictured I'm in the morgue and somehow Logan Paul showed up and did a sort of like Japanese suicide forest thing, but around all these other people, and he thinks another body next to me is me. Because I'm so tiny, he never saw me, he never bothered to know who the fuck I was, but he just heard that another YouTuber died in this room, so, like, they're like, oh, I'm up here, who's got bigger subs than you? Yeah, woo! And it's like some poor motherfucker who died, like, having a heart attack at the age of 65 or something, you know? and then Phil DeFranco talks about it. And it just spirals out. There are memes made about not your corpse. Hashtag not your corpse. I've been laughing a lot tonight. Earlier tonight I was playing Final Fantasy 15 and there was just a picture that, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna find that stream, find that part, and I'm going to just clip out that particular moment because I am nearly pissing myself laughing. And if I was talking to anyone on my Discord, link you will find in the description down below, I would have just been dead. I wouldn't have been able to continue doing anything. Because it was just, I don't know, just the weird skin. I said it looked like Christopher Walken and William Dafoe had an emo hipster baby. It was now it doesn't seem so funny, but just at the time I was just pissing myself. It was magical. It was one of those moments. I want to do at the end of the year the top 10 ones, because every few months they sort of kick in, where something just happens on stream. It could have happened tonight. It could have happened right here before I go to sleep. I could be asleep in a few hours from now and someone sends me a message and I don't know, it just, something sends me off. By the way, the message is completely uncensored. Say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. YouTube might care. I won't have any say over that, but I won't give a shit. You could wake me up the same way Billy was woke up that one time with the N-word repeated over and over again. Neighbor, 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 neighbor. That's not what it said, Billy. Oh, Jesus. I'm actually surprised at myself. I haven't crashed once. Got here and nearly record. Well, here, I'm still an hour away. And making good progress. When I am gonna go to bed, I will send myself a message, assuming there's no one on stream at the time, just saying that what the timestamp is, so I don't have to edit this rest of it out. I mean, I'm not gonna edit it out, but I will put down the description down below what time it took me. Again, sorry for starting this too early. I mean, if I can't go to sleep, I can't go to sleep. I'll be staring up at the fucking ceiling for how long? I don't got a clue. I'd be talking to myself, which in many ways I already was. This is pure rocket though. Ugh. Pure rocket. And even the mixer is pure rocket. For €14 I got Coke and vodka, and it was like shitty Coke and shitty vodka. Ugh. If it was beer, I'd be out like a fucking light. Beer is so damn heavy. Even like light beer. When I was off in Budapest a few days ago, I was drinking nothing but light beer, except something you didn't get to see on stream. I didn't, and I don't think I ever recorded it. They make a cherry flavored beer. Oh, honey buddy, look at this. Yeah, Nikita Imperial Vodka. Have you ever seen the most generic title? See the gin one, they just replace it with an English crown and call it Gordon's. Why? Because that sounds English. And here is the piss water mixer that goes with it. Cola. Classic cola. 70 cents a bottle. Ugh. Back in my day, we used to call this liquid arse, what I'm currently drinking. But I'm currently on a budget. Once a week, I can get drunk, can't go to the pub. I'm in financial ruin, but I have still the luxury of getting drunk once a week, which I do in the form of whatever the fuck the cheapest is. Next week, hopefully I'll be able to get some beers or something of better quality. Ireland, around in this part of Ireland, gin. There's a really famous gin I would just love to get a bottle of. Oh, a bottle of that and elderflower. I've had it once or twice before. Gunpowder gin it's called, and it is glorious. Oh shit! Well, I just made a matter worse, didn't I? It took me almost the entire trip before my first crash. I mean, I didn't tip or anything, but still. I was making good progress. I was even thinking there was a chance I could get this done without crashing my truck. Fuck it. I mean, don't get me wrong, normally when I do my Wasted Wednesday streams, I'm crashing all over the place. Hell, there's a compilation, there's at least 2 compilations, I guarantee you, of the best crashes. Things from tilting right beside the Grand Canyon back and forth like a grandfather clock's his pendulum, which almost do. I was about to sound like a metaphor, but think about it. A grandfather clock, pendulum, swinging. What swings on a grandfather? They still work, though. Don't worry about it. You want a baby? I can make it happen. Just give me 45 minutes to prepare. But no, I've been playing this game so much now. I can't wait for the next DLC to come out. That's gonna be, they're heading up to Seattle. They're heading up to Washington for the next one. So I will be able to go up to Seattle and see if I can find the Sweet Boy Studios. See if I can see Billy fatting around. I would pay someone to include a mod in Seattle of Billy the Fridge just walking down the street. You can't interact with him. You can't run him over. You can't do anything to him. I would then pay more money to see Joe walking down the street doing the same thing, where you could run him over and then reverse over him and then go back over him. But that's a pipe dream. That's up there with world peace, you know. Anyway, here we are. I definitely feel more drunk, but I don't know if I feel more tired. I think there's a couple. Well, no, DP beeps, not DFF. DFF's more. Well, no. I think there's both and both. I think there's plenty of DP fans in where they live now, Missouri, Louisiana, and I think there's plenty of DFF fans in Seattle. And I wouldn't have it any other way, and neither would they, for that matter. I mean, all that tribalism you see on Facebook and elsewhere, like, they don't give a shit about that shit. Jesus. At the end of the day, we can all agree that Joe is a piece of shit. It'll bring us all together. Also, the egghead is like pure cringe. Like, not just the character, but also Colton as well. There's a few in Missouri. Missouri! Mm-hmm. God, you know what? I'm just gonna, when I reach this locale, I'm gonna go and put my, oh, fuck off! Come on! Mother Tucker with the Tucker and the mother. Some people have, like, ever since I started playing this, and I got, like, a little bit of notoriety, because if you look over my playlist, this is what people want to see. I remember that. I remember you saying that. That is... You know, you should just go there and interview him. Just say you want to interview him. Especially if you ever want to start up your own channel. Assuming you don't already have your own channel. I kind of made a faux pas. Enter. Let's play it safe. But yeah, I'm gonna go and grab... See if I can find the hat I'm after. T. Boom. Okay, whoop-de-doo. And we are good to go. Whoop. I don't honestly care. Piss off. This is passage of time. That's my actual truck. Now let me go and grab my cigarette hat. I haven't worn it in a while. I think I know where the damn thing is. Ah! I heard that. Oh! Thank you, Kate. Appreciate it. I apologize, I'm not going to sleep as quickly as I thought. It kind of defeats the purpose of the whole stream. Like I said, I'll put it at the end of it in the description down below. If you ain't got no time for this middling around, I don't blame you on that front. Give us a second, I'll show you what the donation sound is for tonight. It was normally just the default sound, but got a bunch of flags back there that act as like barriers. When you mentioned cigarette, I thought of Pit Monk, and then I thought about the time when I was, pointed out that his hat was cultural appropriation, especially his leather one. It had nothing to do with the fact I was a little bit jealous that I wanted that damn hat, but I did end up getting like two different versions of that hat. One is like the most stereotypical potato farmer coal hauler version of that hat, and the other one is like the most touristy version of it I could get, but I can't find the motherfuckers for the life of me. So in the meantime, you get this. So with that said, I am going to go now, and oh, and by the way, a natural rate, really? Do tell. I will not pretend that he doesn't have. I don't like the way he doesn't have a lot of time for a lot of people, but at the same time, I can also get that. So I do kind of understand where he's coming from, but it's just not like he's like, what? Fuck you. Like, he thinks everything is some sort of, like, assault against him. Or he has to quickly go, like, well, you wouldn't put yourself down like that, would you? Like, that is, like, my, he's too quickly to get defensive, quite honestly. Those are my two things. Probably because he looks like my dad. Oh, okay. So, then you're entirely aware, then, that he himself has done you no wrong. Unless he has done you wrong. In which case, please share live on stream. Subs? What's that? Hello, Monsieur Subs. Oh, by the way, this is the noise that's gonna happen tonight if I get some donations.
This is a test donation for $1.
Just her voice afterwards. always. I always love it. Very proud of myself. I did that on the fly too. I did that actually at the end of the previous stream. It was the standard ding, like when you sub there. We all have problems with our dads. Mine was never there, a rampant drunk, and I'm so glad I didn't pick up any of his habits. And he was also a compulsive liar, which was a shame because when you got through his lies, he had a hell of a life. Worked in the movies, built Formula 1 cars, yachts, worked in the QE2. Like, he had a hell of a life, but for some reason he always wanted to lie about it. He always wanted to say, I was here, I was there, but, you know, it was always a struggle just to have a conversation with the man. But he was a hell of a guy once you got past that. I imagine you had very different attitudes towards your own father, because you are your own person with your own stories. Almost. And now we top it up with more vodka, because alcohol is our friend. Except when it isn't. Right now my stomach's like, I can maybe do this, but maybe put more coke in, and less vodka. To that I say, fuck you, bitch. Huh? Never got people like that. No. I don't know, I mean, as far as trauma goes, you're handling it pretty well. I mean, as far as I can tell, you're pretty damn good at your job. All the things I've picked up from, you know, on Facebook. I mean, don't get me wrong, that means jack shit in the grand scheme of things. But you could be a complete and utter social and emotional wreck. Instead, you've been left with a few bumps, as far as I can tell. Now, those few bumps might be fucking traumatic. My few bumps are fucking traumatic, but everything I've picked up from you so far, not the worst human being I've ever met in my life. So, take that, what you will. Oh! I will say, whether we have the best fathers or the worst fathers, the best mothers or the worst mothers in the world, it's our job to rise above them. Well, maybe regardless of fuck you sign, and of course regardless of how you would have been raised, there might have been a chance that's always who you were. It might have come out in a slightly different way, but at the core of it, you might have just not been the most open of people. my gram said, fuck you, sign. We're really putting it into high gear now. How come the cars can drive faster than me legally, but I can't? I always wondered that. They never give any explanation in game. Fuck you. Fuck you. The last time I had cargo. No, I don't. No, I get you. I mean, it can jade you, it can twist you. I've met people who, oh god, yeah, now I'm thinking of one in particular. I'm not gonna say names. It's not like she'll ever hear this or watch this, but, yeah, her relationship with her mother fucked her for life. But at the same time, she also kinda, you know, added to that. She was entirely aware of how it altered her, but she still went ahead and being an absolute cunt of a human being. Also interesting, you say like you're not, like able to like vent and shit like that. Isn't that interesting? I can't relate to other shit. Now I'm feeling the drink. I'm not able to relate to guys the same way I can relate to girls. If you look, hell, just look at my Facebook friends group. Like, bulk of them women. I've always felt more comfortable around women. I have no idea why. I only went to therapy once in my life, and she just said, well, maybe you just genuinely do. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong or right about it. And I know tons of girls who have had loving parents, but they also, just in general, get along better with guys. Self-aware, just clueless in how to fix it. Hey, everyone who's self-aware is usually clueless on how to fix it. Not always. Those who've come up with solutions normally are too busy fixing themselves in order to actually stop and give us the answers. And by the time they've come out the other end, they're usually not aware for that for another 10 more years. I think one of the more interesting people who actually are self-aware of that is Paul, as in Paul's ego. I think he's come out of his hell to another side, and he's able to throw some sagely advice. I know he does pop into the DFF Discord from time to time, or the Ideology Discord, or one of those Discords. But I know while there, sometimes he does throw out some sort of like dadly wisdom and shit. Just not because he's a dad himself, but because he's actually been through the fucking fires and comes out on the other side, and he still has a modicum of his sanity. I've always admired that in him, and I've always admired TJ. He's not out of his hell yet. I once told him that he needs to write a book, and he just went like, about what? And then he went on to his next question. It was during one of his ideologies, and I'm like, dude, it's self-answering. Get this, every single person I've said this to about the same thing, because he's not the only person I've met in my life, have all said the same thing. About what? They aren't aware of the line that they cross, that one day they cross the line that separates someone who is struggling to someone who is able to overcome their struggles. which is strange. You better. You just. I mean, you've got that chance. I don't. The only chance I ever get to talk to him is in his ideology streams. He's always been. There to answer at least one of my questions per stream. I once made him piss himself almost laugh, and I'm very proud of that. It was during his Dr. Paul phase, and I told him I had a bunch of skin tags that looked like the cast from Deadwood, and is that normal? And then he does this a long pause, then him and Ashley just start pissing themselves laughing, and I was kind of a little bit puffed up chest, because I had heard him a few days earlier talk about some really serious shit. Like, it had to do with the school system. Not too long ago I asked him what would he do with the school system on ideology, and he just stopped the entire stream, as he tends to do, and just went into a step-by-step thing. And you can tell he's thought about this for a long time, being in it himself. That's why I wanted to ask him. And you can tell that he knows a better way, but it's not even him exclusively. Shit. If people like him got together, if people like him had a say in Washington, well, hell, I know what your profession is. But no, him, TJ, they have fantastic views on life. Billy has an alternative, but equally fantastic view on life, which is a sort of like, live and let live. It's all good. We might as well just lay back. I mean, his music just sings about it. Billy's cool. He allowed me to play some of his music on my streams. It's weird. Him, Evan, and Marshall all let me play their stuff. Still haven't heard back from Cynic yet, but the only things that got me copyright strike were the copyright-free playlists on YouTube designed so they wouldn't get copyright playlist claims. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Hell, Evan gave me a copy of his shit for my birthday this year. I was in Edinburgh at the time. Big love to Evan. He's getting really big into that new Chucky movie with Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky, which is a good choice in my opinion. A very good choice. Mark will be able to get the humor down, but also the franticness of Chucky down, in my opinion. Because, you know, the whole purpose of the whole Chucky doll is that, you know, like, he wants to get out of it. He wants to find a way out of this shit while also being a psychopath. This cool dude. I think he gets waves where he's super busy and chill. Yeah, no, that's cool. Last time I asked him, he was currently going through some shit with Jay Darkey, who they've apparently worked it out, which is good. Now, before I go into this, let's have a look. This man forever, and Jesus, he looks like one of the people who are working in Half-Life 2 at the start of it in City 17. They're just kind of like brooming the same spot forever, and you talk to them and they're like, don't let them see you. You know, civil protection will be on to you in a minute. Meanwhile, here's Igor Krakdowski glaring over him. Work faster! This is just... There's slave labor going on here. I know it. What's this company meant to represent? Charged. Target, maybe? Yeah, this is a... I'm gonna say Target, and mostly because I know people who work in Target, and yeah. They don't treat them quite as bad as people in Walmart, but still. Okay, so we've arrived at our destination. Now we have two choices. Unused packaging from here to Fresno, or empty pallets from here to Albuquerque. I think the Fresno will be a better one because my headquarters is in Fresno. And then I can work on building up my company some more. Again, this is just me waiting so I can do another hit of fucking vodka so I don't get sick. Because this shit is destroying my gullet. Yay, gullet hurt. Alternatively, I just have to wait until I'm tired. But no. I can't do a Sleepy Boys dream ride. Unlike these fine gentlemen who apparently are all sleepwalking. Come on, man. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boxes. Wait, what, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11 there. Huh. There's 11 boxes, alright? You didn't need to take as long as you did. Most of them aren't even packed up right. And this motherfucker, what are you up to? Standing over a railing, looking at the Wahlberg sign, which is in no way a rip-off of Walmart. Let's have a look. You're leaning over the edge, looking at Wahlberg, and you're moving back and forth. Oh, you're sky fucking it. Oh, okay. It's a very gentle fuck. I guess you're a gentle lover. Yeah. I love how these games don't think that people won't stop and look too closely at the animations. Also, I noticed every single person here, a skin-headed white male. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. Hashtag represent. Oh, I hate carrying the double ones. They always are such a bitch around corners. Come on, lady. Come on, love. You can do this. No, it's too tight. You won't do it. I'll do it if I believe in you. You'll believe in me? Of course. And we did it. There's the metaphor for the evening. My double long truck gets into your narrow spaces. Wow, such a subtle metaphor. What could it mean? So, Kate. Oh wait, hold on. Music-wise, I wish Lazy J posted more. I actually don't know who that is. I was gonna ask you what the theme on this time around Discord debate was gonna be. Jesus! That's me trying to multitask. I was trying to get this as tight as possible. There, just a tip. For fuck's sake. He did the DP fan jerk song. That does sound familiar. Coming to me right now. That's not to say I haven't heard it. As you may guess, as an Irishman, by tradition I get very drunk very often. And also, I've never pretended to be the ultimate fan in anything except maybe Elder Scrolls. Yeah, yeah. I'm that much of a nerd that. But yes, I remember. I remember people talking about Lazy J. Yes. But yeah, no, I was curious. What's the next topic of debate, or have you not come up with one yet? Because I always see them in Facebook, but I'm not a member of that group anymore. Nothing against the DFF or anything. It's just I was downscaling myself, and on Discord, I have a lot of Discords, and I don't know if at the time I was just not engaging, so I can always come back easily, but I gotta do me. In fact, I made a promise before heading off to Budapest last week that I would get more and more engaged on Discord, which will help my channel, but assuming such a cure as possible. Is there anything wrong with researching a cure for autism and gender supported leagues, transgender papers? Ah! Now, the first one I might actually have a say on, like from personal experience, and that is because I have Asperger's. And anyone up to recently who has Asperger's will tell you that that is a mild form of autism. And yeah, I'm not one of those people who thinks it's a blessing. It's a curse. It's a mild curse. In my case in particular, I am very self-aware of the fact that people are far worse off than me. But some of them are so far off that they aren't aware of how far off they are. Always people point out like Rain Man and shit like that, and he doesn't know how bad he is. He doesn't understand. That's the point. The guy he was based off, if you ever watched the director's commentary of that and the behind the scenes, he has no idea, really, at the heart of it, what makes him so different from anyone else. I cannot stand that shit. And do you know why that is? It's because they don't want to see themselves as a victim. Now, Kate, I might have happened to notice your skin color. I'm sure you've heard the victim complex motif being thrown out a few times. Not to mention, female, you know? But with Aspies, oh my god, I follow someone on YouTube right now. I forget how I found them. I found them through one of those weird YouTube channels that try to promote your channel at any expense. You know, the really, really sort of dodgy ones. And I was on it for a while, I unsubbed, but in the process this girl subbed to me, and it's like Autism is Amazing or something like that, her channel is called. And she spends most of her days in a care home. When she leaves, she debates with when she leaves those courses, she basically goes along the line of well, she basically debates her her medical team after the fact. I imagine at the time she didn't have the argument in her head. She has about 1,000 subs, by the way, and most of them are from people from like South America who say she's very pretty, which first of all, I don't know about that. I mean, to each their own, but she looks like she's 50 and maybe 100 pounds fatter than me. But she's under the assumption that she's... at one point she made a video, autism is like X-Men. We all have superpowers. People with Asperger's have superpowers. And I was there watching this and I'm like, no, we don't. I know exactly where she's coming from. The whole savant thing, where we can calculate 1,000 different numbers being thrown at us all at once or whatever. In my case, I'm huge into history. I'm like colossal into history. I'm able to judge historical moments fairly easy and just be like, oh, what do you think about this event? And I'm like, oh, well, this event, blah, 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 blah. But I can't make that practical. I can't turn that into a job without outside support, which doesn't make me... It makes me a component of a computer that might be a better running computer than most things, but it doesn't make me a superhero. It makes me broken. And what's worse, unlike her, I think I've got it so lighter than she does. She's not self-aware. And I cannot stand self-aware people. And that must stem from the fact that I myself am an Aspie. It's just the idea of... I remember one time I was at this bar in London, and there was this Aspie guy there, skinny motherfucker. Jesus would love, would love him. Grade A twink, and he was the most spastic motherfucker. No one wanted to talk to him, which of course made him felt offended. But instead of being the adult and reading the room, he just kept on going at it and at it and at it. But the bar girl behind the bar, who I ended up chatting with for the rest of the evening, and she was cool in her own path, but she also was an Aspie, had spied that he was an Aspie and wanted to kind of protect him. And afterwards I laid into her. I was like, don't do that. You've just confirmed their own bullshit. We'll never learn the social norms if everyone, including us, will defend us. This wasn't us bullying him. This was us saying that, dude, you're bringing the room down. You're making us feel uncomfortable. You're clearly A, not able to handle your alcohol, and B, you're not acting like any form of adult I've known. Like, you're ruining our night for the sake of yours. And she didn't have a response to that because how she was raised, you know, Aspies equal love. No, you can't survive. Well, actually, unfortunately, you can, but you do it by becoming more or less the ward of someone else. Now, I might be a far more jaded person than these people, but I myself am a ward. I'm a ward of the Irish state, for starters. I get money once a week from the government, and for just being born broken. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to put on my Ben Shapiro yarmulke and go into a whole sort of like libertarian bullshit. I believe in a form of socialism. I also believe in a form of democracy. You can have both. Just, you know, the free market kind of has to stop at some point. But, and you know, if you have elderly people littering your streets, you should kind of get them away. Make sure they're not starving. But at the same time, I also don't think you need to, in the case of people who actively need to be fed a constant stream of "you're okay," when in actual fact, you're not, but you can improve. That's the key thing. You wouldn't tell someone with Down syndrome just to walk it off. They'll never be able to walk it off. Someone with Tourette's will never be able to walk it off. But you're able to tell someone with mild Aspergerism to shut the fuck up. Which, you know, there's some people who can't survive regardless of how they're raised. However, it seems like hindrances people loosen their leash. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. It makes perfect sense biologically. Your children are your future, so they're going to be treated like pure and other saints. Unless they're treated the opposite, which is hindrances and bullshit, but then those people probably shouldn't have had kids in the first place. And then you've got the mix of the two, the grey area. And that's something that a lot of Aspies will never grasp, the grey area. I'm lucky, it's so light on me that it will always be, I will understand the grey area. At least I'll understand the concept of it. Mike, hey! Welcome to the show. Sorry that I'm not fast asleep right now. I started this way too early. Oh, don't worry. Kate's a veteran shitster. Feel free to respond in kind. We were actually talking about some pretty heavy shit, so it'd be kind of cool to lighten the mood. I've been having a pretty good evening so far, actually. If you look back over the last 2 streams, I had some good fun. And before that, I was off in Budapest, which was fucking cool. Expect to see the end of the stream, the uploaded video of that at the end of the week. But for tonight, once I'm tired enough, I'm gonna crash here, and you motherfuckers get to wake me up at a $1 donation with some loud fucking noises. Yay. Until then, though, I started this stream far too early. I do apologize. But my mom was in hospital last night because she had a fit. Oh shit, Mike, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. Christ. Is she okay now? Out of my way, red car. Yeah, that must have been rough. I was there, my nan took a turn. When I was about, I'd say 12. No, I was a bit younger. I'd say around about 10. Was the start of my nan's seizures. And we were living with her at the time, and I always remember that, yeah. It was scary. And it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. But, I remember at the time I had to be there for everyone else. Which is shocking, because later on, I remember my mother saying that she thought she had to be there for me. I guess in many ways we were there for each other. It shows if you don't talk about it, you make assumptions. But, yeah, Mike, Christ, that is a real shame. That's rough. But if you want to forget it for a little bit, chillax. I'm getting increasingly more and more drunk, and I've seen people's first fits, and I've seen people help. I myself passed out once. It was not pleasant. Actually, I've passed out a few times. I don't take a twitch or a seizure like that, but I just go blank and I just fall over. But yeah, Christ, that's not something you want to happen. I mean, is she, how's she feeling right now? Is she okay? Imagine she's scared. They, find out what happened. Well, that's what a mother tends to do. Even when they're constantly looking out for you. Yeah, I've heard that's actually... Oh, bollocks. I've heard that's actually a very common case. They, In fact, I can, yeah. Remember when I came out of my passing out, I'm always very hungry. I mean, hungry like I haven't eaten in like 2 days, hungry. But, I know other people who've seizures. My roommate, Chris, he's epileptic. And, it only ever happens when he's asleep. But he's very, he says he's very tired at the end of it. Interestingly enough, it also happens when you're in a coma as well. You can be in coma for years. When you wake up, you're very tired. I don't think anyone knows why that is. But regardless of all this jibber jabber, I am hoping that it was just a one-off thing, or it's nothing serious, and it can be treatable, and just that it's the best of a worse situation, basically. But yeah. Kay, you were saying that a kid at the playground was going on. Yeah, well, absolutely. Sorry I'm not myself asleep. I am getting a little bit groggy, I will say that. But honestly, I know from personal experience. Fuck you, payphone. You're all dead anyway. I know from personal experience, if I were to try to go to sleep now, I'd just be staring up at the ceiling. Tomorrow, check this stream again. I should have the link down below for when I actually do crash for the night. Because fuck this shit. I shouldn't have started it as early as I did. Oh, this is my second run now. You deal with like really young kids, don't you? Come on, over here. Do kids like? How have kids changed from when we were their age? I mean, obviously phones and like machines play a bigger role, but like, do they still play games? Because I know a girl from Dublin. She was trying to do a photography project on kids' games, as in like the way they're no longer playing things like Leapfrog or moving statues or things like that. And British Bulldog was another one. I don't think tag will ever go out of fashion. I mean, tag is just too much fun. Or just ball, you know? Ball, throwing ball at each other. Alright, I'm in Fresno now, so I'm gonna go and look for my garage. Oh, totally, the make-believe, kickball, foursquare, hot foot, soccer and all that. Tag. Oh, tag isn't allowed! What, too much running or anything like that? I'm in Sacramento. Alright, I guess I'll drive to Sacramento then. I might, yep, there I am. I have enough time, I have enough money to buy a new place. We had some places had Foursquare where we are, but it was never really a big thing. Jump rope was obviously a huge thing. There's the Walmart mod literally right next to the Walbert, which is the base vanilla game. That's a shame. But, you know, you guys have to make sure the kids are okay. I was the first generation that brought in like computer games and things like that. I was the very first person in my school to get of any age to get Pokemon Red on their Game Boy. Before that, you couldn't play multiplayer with anyone. We also used to play guns, of course, because we were little boys and we used to like playing guns. Girls used to just, in our minds, they used to just be gathered around and gossip with each other. Like, that's never changed in my mind. It probably was different. I'm sure they played their own games. I know they had Polly Pockets and Barbies at a certain age, but like, I think around like the age of 10 or 11, they kind of just started to talk to each other about whatever. Oh, and do each other's hair. Remember that? They used to do a lot of each other's hair. Some of them, I think that's when they discovered a lot of the ones who had like real artistic talent. Because a lot of them like to do the henna and the henna tattoos and the Celtic marker tattoos. There were these magazines you could buy in art stores, and it was like body tattoos with marker. And girls used to do that to each other, I remember that. And a few of them would learn how to like make basic necklaces and things. They were always more productive than we were. We played football, like Irish football, like proper ones. Yeah, mash. I remember by the time of secondary, there were 2 girls in our class who actually were trying to become tattoo artists. And they had learned it from secondary, by the way. With that part of secondary, there's 2 parts of secondary in where we're from. There's a junior class and senior class. And junior class would be your equivalent of middle school. So before that it was primary, which was going up to like 12. I think there were 1 or 2 13-year-olds in it, but for the most part you turned 13 in junior. But I remember the girls, they would just have their own little cliques and cabals and things like that. And I always remember gossip was a huge thing. Like, gossip was a colossal thing. Ha! No, yeah, well, that one is true enough. I've heard some really strong arguments from feminists that that's some sort of like coping mechanism. But I just think they're genetically pre-proposed to do that. You know, like the way a really young like a 13 to say 16-year-old boy who hasn't even gotten his first hand job yet or even found out what masturbation is, yeah, when he bounces around a room, he's bouncing around a fucking room. Like, I've always found that, like, teenage girls, sure, they're going through their own drama shit, but here in Ireland, they're always they're always big into clubs, they're always big into events. And I think in some way it plays into the ancient stereotype that girls, like, progress before men, which I don't think is true in the slightest, because I've talked to I had a internet girlfriend that I met once, and she was from Ohio, and she was she had the body of a 20-something Casey Tron. You know, let's just say this: she was thick. But she had the mind of a 12-year-old. And yeah, she was also highly religious. Gossip wasn't too bad for me. Mine was more friend drama. Yeah, pretty much. That's because Louis C.K. usually said everything right. You know, before I started to watch TJ and the like, I didn't even really bat an eye at that sort of Louis C.K. and Carson on SNL, even like old school SNL. That's because I didn't grow up in that sort of environment, because we didn't have that over here, and if we did, it wouldn't have made the same sort of cultural impact as it did. There was no equivalent. I've been thinking about this for a long time now. In the UK, there were a couple of equivalents for SNL, but it wasn't the social benchmark that it ended up being. And as for people like the comedians like Lewis and Carson and all them, they just, you know, Britain has so many shit. Britain has so many comedians that, you know, you didn't really base your society off them. I suppose you based your look a little bit off the soaps, Coronation Street and EastEnders. That was always the standard. It still is to this day. Girls who watch that will start wearing the same sort of hairstyle, the necklaces, the jewelry. People in professions say girls progress faster because the milestone wise they hit the marks faster than boys. Potty training, speaking, babbling. That's true. That's true. I didn't really think of it that early back, but yeah, no, that could be the case. I always think that like once puberty hits, it's kind of like a sort of like a marathon race. But sure enough, before puberty, there's a lot going on. I mean, I know the different stages, you know, like the stages where a child is fascinated by throwing things and making loud noises and poop. I know there's a whole stage where they're focused on everything that comes out of someone. Or bright colors and like so on and so forth. But at the same time, I haven't made it into a career, so I'm not pretending to be any sort of expert. I just like to wander around Wikipedia while drunk. Boys said hit those slower, boys said the physical milestones faster, about half. Imagine then throwing the anal stage. That's right. Yeah. I always remember that and thinking like, I don't remember being obsessed with that. But that's the whole point. I was so young, I wouldn't have remembered it. I remember being in the pram. I remember I was in a pram and it had a plastic rain guard over it, and I was fascinated of pushing past it, but because I was strapped into the pram, I would only be able to just touch it with my fingers. I'd say about a 7. I'm actually able to hold a conversation. Well, actually, Kate, I've been having a conversation with you. How drunk would you rate me? Hiya, Whiskers, by the way. Yeah, Whiskers is Whiskers is a sweet boy, but mostly if you pour sugar cane onto a pair of buttocks. I'm in child tree development course. We talk about psychosexual stages and I remember what do you call it? Piaget? Piaget. I remember seeing that term. I've never heard it pronounced though. So how do you say it? Yeah, yeah. I have a limit. No, we don't have a baseline shift baseline for you. So I say 4 to 5. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you wouldn't have a base. We have talked, but it's always been on Facebook and it's always been in text form. So other than the times you've popped in and I wasn't aware of it, yeah, shit. I'd get a lot drunker if this wasn't vodka. So I guess what I'll do is every time I take a swig, I'm going to add 2 doses of Coke to 1 dose of vodka, and at the end of this, I should be able to crash out because right now I'm feeling a weight behind my eyes that's growing. Piaget. 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 Okay. Piaget. Oh shit! I did have a thing in San Francisco. Is it upgraded fully? It is. All right. Let's buy a new one. Let's all my bitches are bringing in some sweet ass money. I'm like a pimp, but not like a pimp. That's a different type of pimp. Though sometimes he thinks himself a pimp. Never hit on Luna in front of him. He'll fuck you up. He talks about the different stages of development. He's actually pretty fascinating. Where are we headed to? Well, we're really now just... We literally just hit the location, so I guess I'm just knocking off areas I haven't been to until I'm too tired. And then I'll crash, and then I'll sleep. That's the plan. This was just sort of like a downtime. I couldn't think of anything better to play while waiting. Mm-hmm. Y'all gotta start tipping. Mm-hmm. I haven't been to Oakland yet. Okay. Maybe one day the Oakland Raiders will find a home. Gotta get old man. That's actually one of my last favorite Simpsons episodes when they had the Super Bowl and they had not John Goodman, Ron Burgundy's boss in Anchorman. That motherfucker. He was like a tour guide, and he got them all. He got half the town of Springfield a passes to see the Super Bowl, and it was just them trying to see the Super Bowl. And Madden was there, Rupert Murdoch was there, and Dolly Parton was there. It was yeah, that was a good episode. Hell, even had a guy being Vincent Price at one point. Oh, I miss old Simpsons. Yeah, I'm in sort of ennui level drunk right now. I can wax philosophical, but I can also go off into random tangents, and as you well know, eventually those tangents will take over completely. It's kind of like if you don't keep drinking the blood, the vampire curse will take over and you will become a howling monster. But yeah, they couldn't get in. I always remember the little jokes in it. Things like the bye week, where they're trying to play it up as this serious thing, but they're all just sitting by the pool and hitting on girls and like burgers. And then it cuts to Mo and he says like bye week, and then he mentions like a real famous footballer had no bye week and now he's dead. Oh, maybe actually it is a good thing. I don't know the first thing about American football, but I've always found it fascinating. American sports are fascinating because you guys always push it to 11. The only time we do that shit over here is when we do it for the World Cup, and that's like the World Cup, so regardless of anything else, everyone is involved. Including one year when I was in America itself. Which was hilarious, watching you guys talking about soccer and saying like soccer, or as the rest of the world calls it, football. I'm not calling it football. And I'm just staring at them and I'm like, this is like a passing fancy for you motherfuckers. I've known people who've died over this sport. You know? That's not a good thing. That's a terrible thing. Seriously, soccer hooligans are a real thing. Chris could talk your ear off about them. No, they're not. They're not a real joke. They're not a joke. St. Louis baseball starts fucking Friday. They aren't up to 11, not anymore. But instead, what you get is little tiny fights of 2 or 3 lads, and one of those lads might bring a blade, and then someone dies. Oh, Whiskers! Wait. Oh, yes. For once you entertain me. Let's see what you got. Don't worry. He's only a cat in spirit. He's an otherkin, you see. He's a cute otherkin, though. He's my otherkin. I claim him. When the great otherkin purge comes, you'll be safe, Whiskers. You're a sweet boy. Don't know what the fuck I'll do with you, but you'll be safe. Put a bunch of bit. Hey, come on, you're a fucking baseball fan. Swing a bat. You know? Or at least hit them over the back of the head with a fucking catcher's mitt. Out of my way, cars. You're all arbitrary. You're all living arbitrary, pointless lives. I'm the only human here. Fight me in Festus. Yeah. Oh. Now I want to see a fight between Kate and Whiskers, where Brett is the referee. In this corner of my dog turd-ridden yard full of mosquitoes. Brett, you have to sit down. Oh, in a minute, Dorn. Here's get that chili ready. Here's, what's your name? Kate. Oh, let's be honest here. It's the same for Brett. His place is so poor somehow that it's sort of like it's the both. Maybe his front yard and backyard. Maybe his house is like on a side or something. Oh, fuck yeah. A morbidly obese woman is being washed in her front yard while watching. And she's like screaming, "Kill him! Kill the son of a bitch!" A whole family show up in a pickup truck and they're hooting and hollering. Throwing down bets of like used teeth. Yeah, I mean, if this is hobo fighting, then hold on. If this is hobo fighting, I call manager for both of you. So. You can't cut me, I'm too fast. Fuck yeah. It'll be like playing a game of Double Dragon or some shit like that. You'll just pick up random objects to get a couple of extra swings in. Like I used to have turned this into a role play. Totally down for this shit. As long as Brett's still involved. Mostly so he can get constantly wounded. Eventually he'll split open and his real manatee form will come free. It'll break, you'll run and get cut and he'll laugh and leave you in Festus and say, Barry Bonds. I almost understood that reference. I know who Barry Bonds is. Come on. Let me drive to a destination that I want to drive to. To anyone who watches in the future who is not from America or give a shit about baseball, I will now count to 5. 1, 2, 12. Ah, fuck it. It's ruined again. Fuck it. Where the hell am I driving? I liked Kaya from Official Podcast, his theory that there shouldn't just be steroids in major and minor league sports. That should become the norm. He wants to see people basically turn into mutants when they become celebrity sports stars. Just roided cyborgs with like massive mutated limbs beating the living shit out of each other. I would get behind that. Like flinging balls the size of mini fridges at each other. The steroid league and the normal league. Well, what's wrong? Well, why would anyone watch the normal league at that point? You know, if anything, the normal league would be like the amateurs, wouldn't it? It'd be kind of the place where the steroid league people would scout for potential steroid users. Exactly. That'll be like the one weird motherfucker who shows up for a little league game and he's not like a dad. He's just in the corner just going, I like the way the sweat clings to their uniforms. You know? It would become cricket, frankly. And the only reason anyone watches cricket these days is for the slim chance of a streaker. Yeah, but I mean, before the internet, that's the only place the little league guy could have gone. Maybe the library. He's the one reading to the kids. When Mama Bear and Daddy Bear are asleep, another guy comes and he will eat. This is okay, but don't tell your parents. I don't know how to end this rhyme, so I'm just gonna steal you. Oh no, not again! I laugh, but children have died. All my Indian co-workers are obsessed. They are. The British left quite an impression with India and Pakistan over cricket. The British, a surprisingly small amount of English people give a genuine fuck about cricket. It's considered a smaller affair. Rugby and soccer, football, are the main thing. Yeah, my bad. I refreshed myself. It happened to me, so... Screen is fucking laggy. Kate's across the room and she's fucking laughing at me. Ain't my fault that I'm fat. I was drunk as a kid and my hair won't grow back. I can kind of make it into a song. Well, that needs a bit of work, but I can do it. Actually, why the fuck do I need to sing it myself? I have a playlist that is 110% supported by every creator, duplicate, of said one I mean, why not? I'm not going to be here for much longer. I'd say half an hour at the most. Playlist. This is the LEV. Oh, eventually there should be an LEV version, because I owe a lot to DP and DFF. So, yeah, there definitely should be a DP version. There should be a lot of versions like that. Hell, if he was still doing his thing, Pagan probably would have eventually done a version like that. And all probably would have gone to Marshall, who would have gone through it and been like, okay, cool. There's Billy. We don't want Billy, we want...
Alright, so let's say, what's this other one? Backwards Hadouken. Oh, that's a forward Hadouken. So that's a forward Hadouken, and B, that's the gut slice. Let's check it out.
The screen is fucking laggy. Ben's across the room and he's fucking laughing at me. It ain't my fault that I'm fat. I was poor as a kid and I have a bad back. I need my couch, I don't deserve this. Let me talk to IKEA customer service. Santa called that kid fat. Still can't believe he did that. And I've been doing a backwards Hadouken since 1992. Salty ball, round as a ball. And I'm fat cause my back is bent. No telling where my couch from IKEA went. Salty ball, round as a ball.
Incredibly left-leaning, borderline feminazi, who once compared me to him. And at the time I was so offended, I didn't think of anything without for the rest of the year.
Nicotine fits so I can run my mouth. Gingers can tan Ben.
Oh no,
And
they
don't
can't.
get me
It's just,
started on penguins.
they burn in a way that makes it look like they
Billy threw his piss on me.
Could you imagine the day when
attacked him while he
the
was
alternate
in his
reality where
seat.
DP never broke up and it said Billy was
And I've been doing a backwards Hadouken since
that would be a
1992.
strange creature.
Salty ball, round as a ball.
I knew about
And I'm fat cause my back is bent. No telling where my couch from IKEA went. Salty ball, round as a ball. Salty.
Marshall's pretty cool for letting me use his music, but it makes sense. I mean, I've actually gotten people to listen to him and Billy, in particular Billy. The bulk of my playlist is made up of Billy shit. And when I had to
Oh, I
remove
guess I
was
forgot
the
how to do a
heroin
backwards
one,
Hadouken.
because
I mean, I've only
apparently
been doing it
that's
since
so
1992,
copyrighted
so...
that even he's copyrighted. Alright, I didn't want to play this one, but I'm going to play it just because it's going to make me happy. I didn't know about any of this shit until I saw Sargon of Akkad complain about extra credits. And then I'm like, oh, well fuck you, Sargon. Even before I knew what he was all about, I didn't like who he was. And then I just put it off until I heard about TJ.
What kind of father sits and watches children get
I started off with
out of my
Spoonie, Brad Jones,
What
Doug
kind of
Walker.
father would allow his children to starve to death? What kind of father lets his children freeze to death cold? What kind of father would judge you and condemn you?
Then you better send them nudes.
You and your children burning in the flames of hell. The same father you claim who loves you.
Done. Thank you for the feedback. This is how we learn.
You're a teacher, you know this. Teachers are designed to be the ultimate constructive critics. Maybe the people who are the ultimate constructive critics should be the best teachers. That's so true.
Sorry, God, I watch TV, I've seen the news. Babies dead in dumpster, mothers on crack, men beating women, sisters with HIV, churches passing balls for money. This is what I see, I'd be lying if I said I felt your presence. Once that plan, yeah, got worked out for me. Empty clock like empty promises. Every word you said was written by men. Yeah. And you're wrong when you said don't trust the flesh. Yes, I question you. When a man kills, it's murder. When you kill, it's divine intervention. No, I'm full of hate, 'cause I suffer day and night. I'm living in torment, living in lies. I dream of death, I wake up dead. What will the rest of my life be like? Yeah. I've watched TV, I've seen the news. Mothers on crack, men beating women, sisters with HIV, churches passing balls. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't mind that bot. A rare showing on our part. Hashtag Nightbot2. I'm sure there's someone somewhere. You know what I'd love to see? I would love to see a love. That's a Dublin accent right there. Dublin accent coming in right there. I would love to see someone who, like, a tweet saying like, this motherfucker by the name of Nightbot oppressed me. Clearly they do not like a strong, proud African woman or some shit like that. They do not like gay people. So tune in for Marshall Manson cover. Fuck, cool. Yeah, you did. Well done. That was rare. I do apologize, Rotten, that I'm not asleep right now. I have been streaming for quite some time. I'm hoping to wrap this up soon. But the fact is, I started a tad too early. I'm looking at the number right now, nearly 2 hours and 20 minutes early. The idea was that originally I was going to pop into the chat, talk to you for a little bit, get into bed, and then get to sleep, and then we can start the fucking proper one. I'm not, and I'm fucking pissed at myself. I'm not even I am mildly groggy, so that's why I'm thinking maybe it's a good idea to keep on drinking. The more and more I drink, the quicker I can fucking go to sleep. Yep, pretty much. Didn't even notice that myself. It's 2:55. Fucking hell, what a way to fucking blow your wad early. Anyway, I want to also hear the while I'm here, I've kind of opened up the genie's bottle. I'm gonna put on, hell, after all, like I said, Billy, Evan, all of them, they're gonna give me their love. Turn the lights off. Oh, that's actually a good idea. I didn't actually think of that. Bottom. Look at that booty. Wiggle, wiggle. And it's pulled out for sexual content. Hello, Mr. Mike. Please do not fall on me so quickly. This whole thing is like, it's so tiny. I've got like the most ghetto setup ever. If it gets too dark, I've got this. Dude, one of these days you should stay up and hang out in the Hot Take Discord. Be cool to talk to. I'd be fucking down for that. I had a feeling, watching you talk about your topics and seeing the people you might be bringing in from time to time, and just the vibe I got from you. Yeah, I'd be definitely down for that shit. The thing is that I've learned from personal experience, I'm never invested personally in a topic. So then people can turn around and say, well, fuck you, motherfucker. Also, by the way, Mexico. Have I? Oh, I was like, did I put this on backwards? Got this from a student who was staying with us at the time. She was from Mexico, and she gave us all t-shirts as gifts, which is pretty cool. And really spicy sausage, which is not a metaphor. I'm talking about some hard grade churro shit that you have to slice off and make that up into a sandwich or even a salad. Oh yes. Topic though was only like 1 or 2 hours, and like 4 hours is fucking around. I had a feeling it wasn't too strapped. Thanks to Pagan, I was introduced to a streamer, the League of the YouTube Jackasses, I believe they're called. I was on one of their streams, and since then they've been trying to get me back on. It's just been bad timing or bad headspace on my end. But I want to get back onto them, but it was kind of cool. What do you have to say on topic for 1 or 2 hours? It's usually just things like major issues, isn't it? Like the current hot button topic of the day, and you kind of just go crazy. I kind of like those too. I mean, I'm a big fan of non sequitur. To the point where I don't like the fucking around, like the half an hour prior that comes with non sequitur, where they're like, okay, we'll move it around there. Can you hear me now? What? So what sort of sandwich are you eating there? Oh yeah, it's ham and cheese. It's a little bit of ham. Yeah, me, Mr. Atheist, just there going like, oh, it's a little bit of ham and cheese, you know, whatever. Yeah. You could see it as a metaphor, but I see it as a ham and cheese sandwich. A lot of people in the chat right now are saying that you like a lot of white bread, huh? You know, I also like dark bread too. I fucking love Mr. Atheist. He's pretty solid. I'd love to see him on DP, but I imagine a lot of his more liberal friends be like, no. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you've never been into a group like that before, rambles. I mean, low energy rambles? No. Those sort of conversations, they can be derailed so quickly. They can get into so many topics so quickly. By so many people, too. In fact, Kate, how do you even moderate that shit? I suppose I should go back into the game for the time being. Give any future people something to watch. At least it's a truck rotating around. God, one of these days, I'd love to play the game with the radio on so I can actually hear, like, welcome to KPV 101Y, Salt Lake City, 24 hours a day. Praise the Lord. Maybe not. Rambles. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Whiskers, why do you think, like I always say, why do you think I call my weekend streams low energy rambles or live energy rambles? Depending on whether or not they're actually done or live or recorded. Because I learned long ago, yeah, I'm gonna just fucking ramble. Also, low energy gaming was already taken by someone else. Piece of shit. Originally, I wanted to call this the Armchair Historian. Had nothing to do with gaming whatsoever. It was going to be all about reviewing historical based movies and TV shows and games. I wonder if anyone beat me to it. So starts at 1 each 20 minutes, about 7 minutes. Jumps. Incredible. I don't know how he swung that. Yeah, it's a standard thing. Kate, how effective so far have you been as mod? Has there been cases where people just scream until eventually you had to cut it out? Because Discord